thepascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. I'm still getting the sleep out of my eyes and all that. I'm still just waking up. But I wanted to hop on a little bit earlier with you guys and chop it up with you guys about a few things that happened before we go into the verdict watch, because there's some things that recently just came to light around this whole thing. I know a lot of us are asking the same question. What was the thing that made them decide what they decided, right? I think a lot of us are kind of wondering that same thing right now. What made them change? What made them make the decision, right? The final decision. And y'all hit the number 1 really quick and let me know you guys can hear me. Okay? Just do me that solid really, really quick. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay? Okay, cool. Thank you, Tyler. I know a bunch of y'all are going to say number 1 here in a second, but yeah, there it is. I appreciate all y'all. Okay? Your boy's tired. Yesterday was a very long day of a lot of stories, but it was worth it. I had a great time talking with you guys about a bunch of things, and it was nice to just discuss those things as a family instead of just doing those as pop-up videos. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys hitting the number 1. I just wanted to make sure you guys could hear me. You know, this new rig, I'm still figuring it out. It's weird. It's a weird thing, and every day I'm trying to learn one new thing on this thing. You see what I'm saying? So just want to make sure everything's running smoothly here, okay? But real quick, before it completely disappears, Kimberly, Queen Kimberly, thank you so much for being a member for the past 13 months. I really do appreciate it. Over a year. Man, that support is amazing. She says, happy Friday, with a bunch of purple heart emojis. Happy Friday to you two and to everyone else that's watching the show right now. And then also, before I even started the show, there was a new member. Welcome to the family, Debbie McMullen. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I don't know if you just refreshed your thing and just became, renewed your membership or not. Either way, it does really mean a lot that you came through and are here for to support the channel. I really do appreciate it. And just like Debbie, though, you can always think about hitting that join button down below and supporting the channel as well. All right. That'd be greatly appreciated. Now, let me make sure I got everything locked in. Okay. Because we are all here for the same thing. Waiting for everything to start popping off. Okay. So nothing's happened as of yet, obviously. Okay, so we have a few more minutes until we get things on and popping with the sentencing. Now, the thing is I did put up a poll at the top of the chat. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit different, or I'm sure I'm going to be turning that on and like changing the poll as time goes on. But I wanted to get one off and cracking fast before we get into the time of, until we get to sentencing time. Okay. Stephanie East, welcome to the family. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really do appreciate it. And Shanasha, hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you so much as well for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much for the support. That's really, really amazing. But anyway, before we get everything moving, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your doggone name. Send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time checking out this channel right here, that'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Real talk. Anyway, let's get into this, guys. Because as we wait, okay, as we are waiting, we got some things. We got some things to get into. Okay. We got some things to get into. Now, as we already know, Alec Murdaugh was found guilty on all charges last night in a very shocking verdict, a decision by the jury that the jury apparently was only in that room, in their jury room or whatever, to discuss and deliberate for 45 minutes, y'all. 45. Pretty shocking stuff, okay? Groundbreaking information. I'm still shocked. Their decisions, according to a juror, because I told you somebody's going to speak out, which we are going to look at, because a juror did speak out, okay, about the decision and what was the smoking gun piece of information that made them have the final decision. And I think I said something that when we watched his testimony that I think I was right. It's very interesting. According to, I know some people are saying 3 hours. Well, according to this juror, he says the decision was made. The decision was made within 45 minutes. They walked into the room. There was a little bit of pushback. They talked a little bit. And in 45 minutes, they had their decision. So outside of that, if there might have been some other stuff they had to do, but their decision was made within 45 minutes. You're going to hear it from the man's mouth, the juror's mouth himself. Okay. So we're going to hear that in just a second, but real quick, I want to say a big thank you to Avery Shannon. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And no matter what, yes, this was quick as F. Okay? Quicker than hell. I was shocked. We were all shocked. I thought it was a joke. We were just wrapping up a very, very tough and emotional show. And then out of nowhere, we get this information. Okay? Hold on, we get this information on that last show that they already had a verdict. And I'm like, nah, you lying. How can that be real? Right? How can that be real? Well, it's real nonetheless. It's real nonetheless. Now, we're still waiting on some things, but we're still waiting on the court to rev up their engines and get things moving. But I wanted to share with you guys a couple of things while we are at it, while we are waiting. Okay. So let me grab this. Okay. Bang. Look at this. Whoops. This thing just totally. Here it is. He was a good liar. This is according to a juror. Juror Craig Moyer steps out. I mean, almost immediately after the verdict was made. Because I mean, this was shot yesterday. This interview was shot last night, pretty much. But he says he was a good liar, but not good enough. Alec Murdaugh, juror, reveals it took just 45 minutes to reach unanimous guilty verdict. Him guilty. And says video of his voice at the scene sealed his fate. Now, I gotta be real. When you look at that kind of title and you see what we've been seeing and the BS that's been out here, it is pretty shocking. Obviously, we're all shocked. Okay, I am super shocked about all this. Okay, but not as shocked, especially when you got somebody who was straight up lying from the get-go. He had an opportunity. He had plenty of opportunity to sit there and say, hey, I was there during this particular time, so on and so forth. He lied straight up. You start with a lie that stays with this thing for a while, stays in this whole thing, thinking that you're going to be able to cover yourself, when actually Paul and his Snapchat is the one that exposed his own dad. Without that video, there would be no guilty verdict right now. He probably would have been able to walk. Well, not walk, but you know what I'm saying. Crazy, right? He's a liar. He's known to be a liar. He's known to BS and all that. Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure they're not ready yet. Pretty wild. And then he goes up there and he does his thing. We're going to look at this. We got a little video, too, of the juror actually saying these things, too. But let's just get into a little bit of this article. All right. So one of the jurors who convicted Alec Murdaugh has broken his cover. Didn't take very long, to be really honest. And he says that it took the jury just 45 minutes to find him unanimously guilty of double M. So Craig Moyer appeared on Good Morning America on Friday morning. So, they shot this last night because this just aired early this morning. And he explains why he and his fellow jurors felt Murdaugh was guilty of what he did, this tragic thing to Maggie and his son, Paw, on their property in South Carolina. He was a good liar, but not good enough, Moyer said. When the jury entered the deliberation room, that's what I was trying to say, the deliberation room. See the cobwebs, trying to get the cobwebs out of the sleep cobwebs out of my head right now. But when the jury entered the deliberation room, 9 were already convinced of Murdaugh's guilt, according to Moyer. 2 thought he was innocent, and another juror was undecided. Moyer revealed on Friday it took them just 45 minutes of deliberation to convince the 3 other jurors of his guilt. 45 minutes, and that was a wrap. And I'm sure they did some paperwork and did whatever they needed to do, filing everything out, making sure everything was right, so on and so forth, crossing T's, dotting the lowercase J's, etc. You start deliberating, going through the evidence, and everybody was pretty much talking. About 45 minutes after all our deliberation, we figured it out. The evidence was clear. He said that the final nail in the coffin was a video filmed by his son, Paul, just moments before the M's, in which his voice can be heard in the background. Remember the video? They're talking about Bubba with the chicken. You hear Alec's voice in the background, okay? You hear that. You hear that. Clear as day. Hence the reason why, and this is that smoking gun piece of evidence right there, is the only reason why you have Alec going up on the stand and saying, yeah, I lied. I lied about being in the kennel, but I was there. And then he made up a whole bunch of BS on why he didn't say this information before. He used his addictions to oxy and pills as a reason why he didn't tell the truth on day 1. They're looking at this and saying, that is the moment. This is the smoking gun information that we saw, that we felt was absolute lies. Pretty crazy. So, moving on. Obviously, Murdaugh had always denied being near the dog kennel where the bodies of his wife and son were found. but conceded at the trial that he'd lied and was heard in the video. Moyer, the juror, also said the jury wasn't convinced by Alex's emotional testimony on the stand. I didn't see any true remorse or any compassion or anything. He never cried. All he did was blow snot. There were no tears I saw in his eyes, Moyer said. Really, really interesting stuff, y'all. Really, really, really interesting stuff. Now, from what I saw tears. But at the same time, this could be one guy putting on one hell of an act because he's trying to save his own ash. Let's be real. His life is on the line. Let's keep that straight funky. Okay? His life is on the line, at least for this. And his reputation is on the line too. His family name is on the line. So I'm sure he was willing to do whatever it took to try to save face. But it didn't work. Clearly, it did not work. Because Paul exposed him. And without Paul actually showing that video or making that video of Bubba, it may have been a hung jury. It may have been, on a reasonable doubt. Maybe he would have been found innocent. You never know. But they're saying that is the smoking gun piece of information. Real quick, I'm just checking. Yeah, they haven't started yet. Not yet, at least. So, real quick. Yes. Carol Lara? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much for your support. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Tammy Padilla. Hopefully I'm saying that right as well. Thank you so much for the 20. Pascal, take a look at JLR's video. He went to the gravesite. OMG. It was awful. Stones are super small on the ground. As you say, it's a nothing burger. I couldn't stop crying. Why? Oh, why? God bless Mags and Paul. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know why, if the gravestones are small or modest. I don't know why they would be, especially if it's your loved ones. Unless he just doesn't have the money. That could be it too. But still, that is terrible. That is terrible. But that doesn't show admission of guilt of any sort. It could mean so many different other things. And it could mean that too, but But Chica, thank you so much for the 5. Isn't it grand that his poor son brought his slimy butt down to justice? Praise Jesus. Yeah, you know what? Excuse me. You know what? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that, as much as we, a lot of us complain about, social media is doing this, that, and the other. Social media exposed and brought him to justice. All right? Brought him to justice. And that's pretty damn amazing. Because of a Snapchat video. They got his ass. Pretty amazing. Okay? It just started? Okay. Excelente. Let me see. There we go. Thank you. Let's rock and roll. I'll play the video. I'll play the video in a little bit. Come on. Where are you?
All others, including his family. A man who violated the trust of so many, including his friends, his family, his partners, his profession, but most of all, Maggie and Paul. This is a very complicated situation, and I want to offer my condolences to the family that has suffered here. We have tried very hard to be respectful and sensitive regardless of what position any person took. because this family has suffered and they've had to suffer in the public eye. And I want to offer my condolences to this family. I want to offer it for Maggie and Paul and Mr. Randolph too, who I had the pleasure of working with on one occasion. But the reality remains is that despite all this attention, this case is about Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh, and I'm so thankful that the jurors gave them a voice. You heard about Paul. Obviously, there was the boat case, but you also heard him described as a fun-loving young man, a person who loved life, a person who would do anything for his friends, for anyone. And he's cut down as he was just starting to live his life. You heard about Maggie. You heard how sweet she was. You heard that she was a girl's girl who adapted to the outdoorsman life of her sons, how much she loved her sister and her brother-in-law and their children. And she was cut down in the prime of her life. Both of them, like everyone else, was unaware of who he really was. No one who thought they knew this man, no one who thought they were close to this man knew who he really was. And Your Honor, that's chilling. And I've looked in his eyes, and he liked to stare me down as he would walk by me during this trial. And I could see the real Alex Murdaugh when he looked at me.
Look at that cop.
The depravity, the callousness, the selfishness of these crimes are stunning. The lack of remorse and the effortless way in which he lies, including here sitting right over there in this witness stand. Your Honor, a man like that, a man like this man, should never be allowed to be among free, law-abiding citizens again.
He looks good in beige.
I would submit to you that the only just sentence here to give justice for Maggie and Paul is the maximum, and that would be 2 consecutive life sentences.
Dos.
Thank you, Your Honor.
2 times a lady. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lordy.
You indicate that no victim would like to speak at this time. Would any victim like to speak at any time during these proceedings?
Come on.
One of the things we did early on, obviously, as I just said, it's a very complicated situation, but we made the decision early on. We've had our victim advocate here who's been doing a wonderful job, regardless of the viewpoints of any individual family member, to provide aid and service to them. And we made that decision.
No doubt.
I'm informed by our victim advocate that none of them wish to speak. The defense can certainly address that, but that's what I'm informed. But they certainly were offered the opportunity as is required. And I want to commend our victim advocate on the excellent job she did in handling this complex situation that we wanted to be sensitive to, because again, none of us are not mindful of the fact of the suffering of this family.
I know Sled Chief Mark Keel is here. Would you like to address the court on any matters, Chief?
No, sir. Just to say, again, very proud of our agents, the work they've done. I'm proud of the partnership that we've had with the Attorney General's office as we've had for many years. And again, we're here to see the justice is served, and we believe it has.
Murder was the case that they gave me.
For the defense.
Your Honor, Mr. Griffin and I would have no comment. The defendant would like to address the court, though.
Holy cow. He going to
Good morning, Your Honor.
Oh, no.
I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never hurt my son, Paul.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
He's still saying he's innocent.
Anything further?
I don't think further comment is necessary, Your Honor.
Thank you. Murdaugh, you come
Innocent.
to the court for sentencing.
Let's go. Or he paid somebody to do it. That's it.
This has been perhaps one of the most troubling cases, not just for me as a judge, for the state, for the defense team, but for all of the citizens in this community, all the citizens in this state, and as we've seen based on the media coverage throughout the nation, you have a wife who's been killed, murdered, a son savagely murdered.
There we go.
A lawyer, a person from a respected family who has controlled justice in this community for over a century, a person whose grandfather's portrait hang at the back of the courthouse that I had to have ordered removed in order to ensure that a fair trial was had by both the state and the defense. And I've sat through the trial. Not only have I sat through the trial, but also as the presiding judge of the state grand jury, sat through and participated in the issuance of search warrants of various sorts, bond hearings, and have had to consider many things. And we have this case, and I'm also assigned to preside over
some of your other BS.
99 others, at least 99 other cases. Though testimony has come up regarding many of those other cases, I will not make any comment with regard to any other pending matter, as I have been assigned those cases as well. It's also particularly troubling, Mr. Murdaugh, because as a member of the legal community and a well-known member of the legal community, you've practiced law before me, and we've seen each other at various occasions throughout the years. And it was especially heartbreaking for me to see you go in the media from being a grieving father who lost a wife and a son to being the person indicted and convicted of killing them. And you've engaged in such duplicitous conduct here in the courtroom, here on the witness stand, and as established by the testimony throughout the time leading from the time of the indictment and prior to the indictment throughout the trial to this moment in time. Certainly, you have no obligation to say anything other than saying not guilty. And obviously, as appeals are probably expected or absolutely expected, I would not expect a confession of any kind. In fact, as I've presided over murder cases over the past 22 years, I have yet to find a defendant who could go there, who could go back to that moment in time when they decided to pull the trigger or to otherwise murder someone. I have not been able to get anyone, any defendant, even those who have confessed to being guilty, to go back and explain to me what happened at that moment in time when they opted to pull the trigger, when they opted to commit the most heinous crimes known to man.
Oh boy. He ain't having him, man.
In this case, qualifies under our death penalty statute based on the statutory aggravating circumstances of two or more people being murdered
Wait a second.
by the defendant by one act
He's not gonna
or
go there,
pursuant to one scheme or course of conduct.
Oh boy. Is he going to DP?
I don't question at all the decision of the state not to pursue the death penalty. But as I sit here in this courtroom and
Holy-
look around the many portraits of
Oh, he's going to get
judges and other court officials
Yeah.
and reflect on the fact that over the past
Oh, have mercy.
century, your family, including you, have been prosecuting people here in this courtroom, and many have received
You're right, Nicole.
the death
Plot
penalty,
twist. Whoa.
probably for lesser conduct.
Are you going to give him that then, bruh?
Remind me of the expression you gave on the witness stand. Was it tangled?
Tangled web, we weave.
Oh, what tangled web we weave.
Well, wait a
What did you mean by that?
Meant when I lied, I continue to lie.
Did you?
And the question is, when will it end?
Facts.
When will it end? And it's ended already for the jury because they've concluded that you continued to lie and lied throughout your testimony.
This is crazy, y'all.
And
Oh my God.
perhaps with all the throng of people here, they,
Oh, he's in. Oh,
for the most
man.
part, all believe, or 80, 90%, 99% believe that you continue to lie now when your statement of denial to the court. Perhaps you believe that it does not matter, that there's nothing that can mitigate a sentence given the crimes that were committed. You know, a notice of alibi was filed in this case by counsel in November, and we conducted a hearing, pretrial hearing, in which you claimed to have been someplace else at the time the crime was committed. Then, after all of the witnesses placed you at the scene of the crime, at the last minute, or last minutes or days, you switch courses and admitted to being there. And then that necessitated more lies and continued to lie. And I said, where will it end? It's already ended for many who have heard you and concluded that it'll never end. But within your own soul, you have to deal with that.
Mm.
And I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep.
Mm.
I'm sure they come and visit you. I'm sure.
All day and every night.
I'm sure. And they will continue to do so
This is
And-
crazy.
and reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes as you looked the jury in the eyes.
I don't think he's dragging this out. I think he's trying to
I don't know.
figure it out himself, I think, live.
Person who's always been such a gregarious, friendly person, and cause your life to be tangled in such a weave web. such a situation that yours have spun into.
Because
And
he's
it's
about,
so unfortunate
what the heck is going on?
because you had such a lovely family of such friendly people, and including you. And to
Well, he was a
go
pill
from
popping
that to this.
but
You know, your license to practice law has been stripped
yeah, Marion.
away from you,
He looks like he does not like
turned
Alec
from
at
lawyer
all.
to witness,
Thanks for the 2.
and now have an opportunity to make your final appeal
That's what I think, Harsh. Exactly.
as an ex-lawyer.
We're trying to reason it out loud.
And it's almost, it's really surprising
Yo.
that you're waiving this right at this time. And if you opt to do so, it's on you. You're not compelled to say anything,
I hope you're wrong, Joshua.
but you have the opportunity to do so.
Judge, I tell you again, I respect this court, but I'm innocent. I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son, Paw.
Well, and it might not have been you. It might have been
Someone you paid off.
the monster you become when you
Ooh.
take 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 opioid pills. Maybe you become another person. I've seen that before. The person standing before me was not the person who committed the crime, though it's the same individual.
Damn. He said what he said.
We'll leave that at that.
He said what he said.
Before announcing sentence on these cases, with regard to all of the other pending cases,
This dude is standing there and it's like this whole thing.
are any of them here in Colleton, or I'm sure some of them are?
Yes, sir.
Half of them, or
I don't have that in front of me, but there are a substantial number of charges here. There's some in Hampton, Orangeburg, Beaufort, Allendale.
Yeah.
There may be others I'm not thinking of.
He
right
does
now.
look terrified.
we might have worn out our welcome here in Colleton.
Colleton's been great.
They have been, and I'll take this opportunity to thank Sheriff Hill and all of the court officials and really everyone I've met and dealt with while here in Colleton County. Just been great. But without any delay, we're going to schedule some of the other matters.
Neither have I.
I know Mr. Harpootlian's scheduling is complicated, and you've
Insane.
sacrificed quite a bit to be able to be here defending Mr. Murdaugh, as well as the Attorney General's office, with all the other many things and obligations you have.
I wouldn't be
And to
surprised
be
if he
able to
passes
have
out.
the Attorney General here,
Would not be surprised. This is
Alan
wild,
Wilson,
y'all.
for the period of time that he's devoted to being here, along with everyone else. It's been quite a sacrifice. But there are other victims whose cases deserve to be heard. And this case has jumped some of those other cases. Perhaps jumped it because of
Put a number one.
this
if you think
case
he's really
resulting
good at
in
DP.
an assault on the
If he's looking at
integrity
where
of the
today,
judicial system in our
Press the
state,
number one. Number two, if you think
law
he's gonna get a
enforcement in our
life or
state.
something.
Even during this trial, the law enforcement have been maligned for the past 5 or 6 weeks by one who had access to the wheels of justice, to
69.
be able to deflect the investigation And as the evidence is pointed out in this case, the looming storm that Mr. Waters talked about, I can just imagine on that day, June 7th, when a lawyer is confronted and confesses to having stolen over $500,000 from a client, and he has a tiger like Mark Tinsley on his tail pursuing discovery in the case involving the death of Mallory Beach. And having a father, for the most part, on his deathbed. I could imagine, I really can't imagine, but I know it had to have been quite a bit going through your mind on that day. But amazingly, to have you come and testify that it was just another ordinary day, that my wife and son and I were out just enjoying life. Not credible, not believable. You can convince yourself about it, but obviously you have the inability to convince anyone else about that.
This trial's big, more than just
if you made any such arguments as a lawyer, you would lose every case of that, like that. Cases you will never have an opportunity to argue anymore, except perhaps your own as you sit in the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
Anything further?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Murdaugh, I sentence you to the State Department of Corrections on each of the murder indictments.
Okay.
In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh, I sentence you for the term of the rest of your natural life for the murder of Paul Murdaugh, whom you probably love so much. I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life. Those sentences will run consecutive.
Okay, 2 life sentences.
Under the statute involving possession of a weapon during a violent crime, there is no sentence where a life sentence is imposed on other indictments. That is the sentence of the court, and you are remanded to the State Department of Corrections.
Bye.
And officers may
Take
carry
his,
forth
take his
on the
ass out.
imposition.
All right, beige man. You look good in beige, by the way. Get used to it. It's going to be your color for the rest of your life. Bye. Beige is your color. Bye-bye. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I got a little nervous there. I thought they were going to straight up say, I thought he was going to say muerte. I thought he literally was going to say that, y'all. Real talk. I thought that was going to be a rap. A rappy rap. Okay. Wow. Wow. 2 life sentences. All right. Done. He done. But what's interesting is he said what he said. He said he like as if he was like, I'm contemplating giving you the DP, giving you muerte, right? And I think through talking it out and saying whatever he was saying, all that stuff that he was saying, that he made his final decision at the end. Because he could have gone, it could have gone and gotten, like, it could have been worse. It could have been much worse, I think. Okay.
Before we adjourn, an order was issued concerning maintaining the juror's identity being anonymous. That order was issued, and for the most part, it's been complied with, except for the jury leaving the courtroom yesterday, or not the jury, but the defendant leaving the courtroom while the jury is still seated. Protecting the identity of the jurors is certainly extremely important during the course of a trial to ensure that no one makes contact with the jury or attempts to influence the jury. Jurors have a right to continue that privacy beyond their jury service, but they're not obligated to do so. And it would not surprise me if jurors choose to come forward and to speak, and they're encouraged to do so if that is their desire. I have no problem whatsoever with the jurors unmasking themselves and speaking freely with the media, because they have undergone a life-changing experience as it relates to many of them. And some of them are here now, and I want them to know that should anyone attempt to harass them or annoy them, please let me know, and I will address the issue.
Holla at your boy. I got you.
Secondly, there's a complaint now regarding the posting of autopsy photographs or photos that came from within the courtroom. It's based on the direction of the photographs. It did not come from the audience. It came somehow from within the well of the court. The parties have requested an investigation of that. I have my hands full doing my job, and I don't attempt to conduct any investigations beyond the conducting of a trial, but to the extent that law enforcement decides to review that, will be the responsibility of law enforcement. Yes. And of course, one of the reasons we've sought to seal graphic photos is because the parties have a right to privacy and a right to those matters not being publicly disclosed. If anyone has heard about the recent settlement that Kobe Bryant's, another sports analogy, Kobe Bryant's wife just made with Los Angeles County and others out there over certain disclosures of information involving the death of Kobe Bryant. Liability can be substantial, and it's a risk for the most part that's not worth taking. So we'll let everyone judge themselves accordingly with that regard. Aside from all that, our business is done here in Colleton County.
Bye.
And I get to use my gavel one or few times during this trial and order that court be adjourned. Sine die.
All rise.
Wow. Okay, guys. Woo. That is some crazy stuff, y'all. So you heard it. I feel like he was a hair away from getting DP. That's what I feel. I think that the judge was sitting there heavily contemplating the idea, and then I think while doing the conversation, he changed his mind. That's what I think. I think he literally was going for, well, you know, you took the lives of two people, and in this state, that would the D would come up. That sounds weird. You know what I'm saying, okay? And I think while talking it out with him, he changed course, changed his mind. You got to remember also, the judge had all night to think about this. This wasn't a situation where they had the sentencing a few seconds later, right after he was found guilty. He had time to sit, you know, and you know, let that marinate for a second in his soul. I think that's the reason why it was so long. The conversation and what his speech was so long, because he had a lot of time to think about everything. But I think he also was heavily vexed on what his decision was going to be, because you got to remember that man's life, this now found guilty man's life, is in the judge's hands, and he could have made his life his time worse. It could have been D, could have been DP, right? Could have been muerte. You know, oh, you're sentenced to death, where you will be in a such and such, and they will inject you until these chemicals will go into your body until you have expired. I mean, he would have said that too. He was on the brink of that. That's what I think. And then he started having a conversation with Alec, sort of. You know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know, some strange thing. I don't know why he decided to change his mind, but he changed his mind. It's wild, though. That is wild. And yeah, the suspense was killing me too, but I did like that judge a lot. I think that there's a lot of people that were hoping to hear muerte. I really do. But I don't know how I feel about that. Personally, if he got it, he got it. You see what I'm saying? And he didn't. So that's where I stand on that. I know there's some people that don't believe in it and are not cool with it. And there's a lot of people that are like, nah, you know, roast that mother lover, you know? For me, I'm like, all right, it is there. It does exist. The option is there. It's up to the court, it's up to the judge to make that decision. If that's what he gets, that's what he gets, right? But let me get through some of these super chats here really quick. Laura Strada, thank you so much for the 3. Good morning, Pascal family. Be kind today. Exactly. I agree. Good morning to you too, Laura. And yes, please be kind today. Okay. Do something amazing. In my opinion, I will say this. I mean, regardless, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again too. Evil lost today. Again. And of course, the appeals will be coming out like crazy. They're going to be appealing until he runs out of money or the court just says, stop. Okay. But evil, no matter what, lost today. Good prevailed today, which makes me very, very happy. I think what he got is more than fair. I feel some people would disagree and think that he should be looking down the barrel of a death penalty, but I think this is just as good. Let's just say that justice was served no matter what. Jeff H, thank you so much for the 2. Him guilty, exactly. Him guilty as hell. Okay, him guilty. Let's keep it real. All right. I got a couple other super chats here. Nuts and Board, thank you so much for the 2. He's going to get plenty of DP in prison. Yeah. Beige man is going to be He about to get turned out. Marion, thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate it. I like this judge. I do too. I like this judge too. I'm gonna be real. I do like this judge. I think he took his time. You know, he had time. He went home. You know, he you know, stuffed that in his pipe and smoked on it for a little bit. He marinated. He thought about what was okay, what was not okay, you know, I think he was really contemplating going for the extreme. I'll just say the extreme from this point on. Okay. But I think he was really on the extreme. Like he was thinking of the extreme. And as he talked it out, and he talked about other things too. You know, one thing, yes, Jennifer, I want to point this out too. He mentioned a lot more than just what they were in trial for. He mentioned a lot more than what they were in trial for. He mentioned Mallory. He mentioned Stephen Smith. He mentioned all the crimes that he is actually looking at, all the lying he's done, all the things that the Murdaugh family has gotten away with, his generation, his family that he's made, not past Murdaugh's. I'm just saying his family alone. All those other people that have perished that surround his life. He has constantly, his family and himself have constantly gotten away with this stuff for a long time. So when I said this is more than just Maggie and Paul, it kind of is. Now, I'm not trying to downplay Maggie and Paul. May they rest in peace, and they're getting justice as well right now. And I'm happy for them. Hopefully they will be able to rest in peace. But at the same time, this man has been behind a lot of things, lying, trying to cover things up, even for Paul, who's no longer here as well. There's the housekeeper as well. Let's not forget about the housekeeper. You got Mallory Beach. You got Stephen Smith. You got all these other lives that just were taken away because of wrongdoings within the Murdaugh family. Allegedly. I mean, Mallory most definitely, they tried to cover it up. So, but at the same time, you hear him saying a lot more than just Maggie and Paul. You see in this that he's sitting there going, okay, you know, this is more. It's more than that. It's more than just, this trial is more than just Maggie and Paul. Pretty wild stuff, y'all. Pretty wild doggone stuff. Taryn, welcome to the family. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. That means a lot. Welcome to the family. And I appreciate all the super chats as well, guys. Thank you so very much. Tahiti, Arizona, thank you so much for the $3. 3 hours to decide a man's fate is an injustice. Well, I don't know. It all comes down, like, I don't entirely agree with that. I don't. And we're going to look at this video because I'm going to show you guys that video. So I appreciate Tahiti bringing this up because let's be real. And again, thank you, Tahiti, for the $2 super sticker. But there's a lot to look into with this trial. And I have questions too. So Tahiti, Arizona has a very good point here, but I don't agree with it. I think that he made his own bed as soon as he went up on that stand. He didn't have to go and take the stand at all. And I think that was sabotage. Listen, all y'all, this is sabotage. It was sabotage, y'all. Okay, Beastie Boys. All right. He didn't have to go up there and do that. Not at all. But because of his cockiness, his narcissism, and of course, he wanted to try everything he could to save his own butt. And of course, they had that smoking gun information. So he went up there and goes, yeah, I lied. I did. But it's crazy what you do when you're on pills. I would never hurt Maggie. Never hurt Pawpaw. I don't know. It felt like his lip thing. It felt like he was trying to do Heath Ledger's Joker the entire time. I'm innocent. I've never hurt Pawpaw. And the chicken, the guineas, and Bubba with the chicken. Literally, he should not have gone up on that stand and testified. He should have kept his mouth shut, stayed in his seat. That would have brought in more reasonable doubt. That could have brought reasonable doubt for the jurors. But I told you guys in the article that I showed you guys a little bit ago, which I'll show you guys again one more time. Take a look at this. Splat out. They said 45 minutes it took for them to turn everything around, right? To change some of these jurors' minds. Now, I'm just quick trip down memory lane from earlier in the show, all right? Before the verdict was, or before the sentencing was announced. They said, okay, it took 45 minutes of deliberations to convince 3 other jurors of his guilt. They said, you start deliberating, going through the evidence, and everybody was pretty much talking. About 45 minutes later, after all our deliberating, we figured it out. The evidence was clear. I didn't see any true remorse or compassion or anything. He never cried. And this is when they're talking about Murdaugh taking the stand and speaking out. All he did was blow snot. There were no tears. I saw his eyes. This is what Craig Moyer, one of the jurors, said. So yes, 45 minutes is pretty damn fast. But you got to remember, they're sitting there this close to this guy's face. They're seeing everything. They're seeing all the evidence. They're hearing all the lies this guy has done. They're seeing all the information, showing proof positive of how much of a liar and master manipulator this man was, okay? You can't deny that those things will be a factor in the decision-making on whether this guy is going to be behind bars or if he's going to be exonerated. You got to look at the character as well. Then also on top of that, when you go up there and you already hear all this other stuff, you hear all this information about how he is basically a master manipulator, and how the only thing he cares about is himself. That was a hell of a thing to say in the closing arguments on the prosecution. He didn't care about Maggie. He didn't care about Paul or Pawpaw. He only cared about himself. And you see it right there. The fact that he went and he said these things, the fact that he goes up there to try to retract and say, oh, I lied because pills. The fact that he went up there and did that kind of thing is absolutely insane, y'all. Absolutely insane. And it shows to the jury that he's a straight up master manipulator, and hoping that by him going up there with his little glasses and the snot running down his face and him saying Paw instead of Paul and using all these terms of endearment, that he would sway the jury back on his side. And also to say, oh, well, he's an addict. Oh, my heart goes out to him. God bless him. No, that doesn't work. Especially after them building this case. Prosecution was building this case. Remember, the defense wanted to take out, they didn't want them to bring up any of his past stuff. They did not want prosecution to show how much millions and millions of dollars that he has stolen from people, even his friends, okay? The millions of dollars that he's taken from people, okay? The defense was trying their hardest not to have that information out here. But guess what? Prosecution did a damn good job on that side. They built a story. They built a character. They built the character side of this man. And then as soon as he went up on that stand, boom. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, even myself, I said, I thought he did good. I thought he did a good job for what it's worth. He didn't crumble like Amber Heard. Amber Heard, it was bad. Like, it was just over-exaggerated BS that was coming out of her face and out of her body, right? And she was trying really hard to cry and do all this fake stuff, right? His acting skills, like he should have been an actor, because his acting skills were a lot more spot on. But it did not fool the jury. It did not. So let's take a look at this video. I got to cut in and out of this thing. But I think because of everything, and then also you got to remember the video of Bubba on that Snapchat. You can't deny that information, the fact that you hear his voice in the background, shows proof positive that he was in that kennel. And without that footage, this man probably be free to deal with his other lawsuits, but at the same time, he'd probably be exonerated. There would be a hung jury. There would be reasonable doubt, but you have the footage. Paw solved his own M. Without Paw using that doggone snappy chaps, all right, this man would still be out here doing whatever he wants, probably on some corner, getting 60 pills a day, and stealing more money from other people as well. But let's take a look at this, okay? And I said snappy chap, but I meant snappy chats. You know what I mean. Let's take a look at this. This is apparently from the juror. A juror spoke out, and I told you it was going to be quick. I told y'all it was going to be quick. Somebody going to come out and say something. And of course, the prosecution, you know, the lawyers that were the winning side, okay, obviously they were going to step forward and speak out and do their victory lap. Of course they're going to do that. All right. But I wanted to show you guys this really, really quick. Okay. And I got to cut in and out. All right. I have to. Okay. Because of fair use. So get used to it and deal with it. All right. Let's rock and roll.
Overwhelming, and I deny the motion.
The disgraced attorney then taken out of the claim to their decision. Silent. The News exclusive juror Craig Moyer breaking his silence, revealing how the jury came to their decision.
When you first got in the room, you took a vote?
It was 2 not guilty, 1 not sure, and 9 guilty.
What was your vote?
Guilty.
From the start?
Yes.
Moyer says it didn't take long to get everyone on the same page.
Real quick, he said from the jump, for him, from the jump, it was guilty. I got questions. I do have questions. We gonna get into it, but I got questions. Let's rock and roll.
We started deliberating, going through the evidence. Everybody was pretty much talking, and about 45 minutes later, after all our deliberating, we figured it out.
So it took basically 45 minutes for you guys to come to a decision?
Probably about 45, maybe an hour.
That's really fast.
Yeah, the evidence was clear.
He said
evidence was clear. 45 minutes. Now, the thing is and that's the tough part here. And I got to talk about this really quick. how much of this, how much of the jury was already on a specific side before they even were chosen, right? You got to remember, there were already documentaries about this, movies about this, podcasts, YouTube videos, etc., about this whole thing way before this trial even started. So it's almost impossible to find a juror that's going to come in and look at this with fresh eyes. So it does make you wonder, and this is on any case, guys. This is not just on this one. How often are you having a jury that is brand new, right? That is absolutely brand new to the case and has no idea what's going on, and learning about the case in the courtroom as both defense and prosecution present their storyline and present their case. I feel like nowadays it's very difficult to find people that don't know a little bit about something. And you also got to remember, this is in South Carolina. This is in his hometown and all that. How many, and it's a small town. So how many people already knew about this story or heard rumors before they walked in and sat down in this courtroom to be a juror? It's just something to think about. This happens everywhere. This happened even with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial, all these trials that we see. It's very difficult. We're going to see that same issue with Brian Kohberger, with the Idaho 4 trial. We're going to see the same problem. Why? Because everybody and their mama already knows about this story. People are obsessing over Brian Kohberger and the Idaho 4 story, right? Everyone is. So when the trial does happen, how many of those jurors are going to be people that are looking at this with fresh eyes? Unbiased, fresh eyes. I feel that it's very hard for that to happen. But let me continue. Nowadays, social media, the internet's Netflix is, okay, all of them. Very tough because everyone out here is making a documentary or a such and such or a podcast or a video out here talking about these things. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying the way we get information nowadays is so easy. It's right at our fingertips. It's right in our phone. All we got to do is type in the person's name and blow, you can get a whole thing about the person. Seriously, I got to type in Alec Murdaugh murdered timeline, and it'll probably have there's probably a video out there going, "Hi, I'm such and such, and here's the timeline of whatever on everything that happened leading up to this trial." Seriously, anyone can do that. You can sit there and watch it for 30 an hour, however long the video is, and then form your own opinion at the end of it, right? But that's why I keep wondering, how much are these verdicts really? How much are these verdicts really unbiased, and how much are they not? Like he said, he walked in that mother lover saying, "Nah, bro." He said, "Nah, bro." He was guilty from the jump. I feel like a lot of people were like that. You got to remember also one more thing before we continue. Just want to remind you, there was a juror that fell asleep in the courtroom. Mother lover fell asleep, y'all. Why would he fall asleep? Think about it for a second. Why wouldst thou sleepeth? Think about it. Because that person already knew. He already knew what his verdict was. He didn't need to hear anything more. He's like, "It's been weeks. I'm done. I already know I'm done." Him guilty. That's it. That's it. And I think it was the final nail in the coffin is this video that we're about to look at here and Murdaugh's performance on the stand. Let's go.
It was this piece of video featuring Alec's voice at the crime scene moments before the murders that convinced him.
Hear his voice clearly, and everybody else could too.
Alec finally admitting it was him for the first time a year and a half after the murders.
Oops, right? Oops. A year and a half after the fact. You got to remember, after the fact, y'all. A year and a half. He had a year and a half. He had all this time to step forward and say something, to go, yeah, no, I was there. I was in the kennel at one point with Maggie and Paw. He could have done that. Taking the chicken out of Bubba's mouth. He could have done that, y'all, but he didn't. Plenty of time. I'm sure it would make him still look guilty as sin, but still, he had time to do something about it. And then finally, he goes, oh, no, I'm going to take the stand, and then I'll do the performance right there. Because yeah. Because I need to do that. I'm sorry, to me, that screams guilt. You saw me, we watched it. It's the first thing, did you, right after, it's right off the bat. Right after the defense was like, did you pull that trigger and blow your son to kingdom come, or whatever he said, right? He's like, no, I didn't. I would never do that. Never hurt Maggie. Never hurt Paw. And he said, okay. Well, then explain to us. So you lied about that video, right? You lied about being at the kennel. Yep. Why? Well, it's crazy how addiction will make you just make lies up. Huh? Things you'll just do to just save your own ass. Sorry. But what? Why lie? Why? I said why? Okay? Why?
When he said it was him, were you surprised?
I was very surprised.
Why?
That was his only savior right there.
For some people, it's so hard to understand how a husband, especially a father, would kill their own son. What made you so sure that he had?
His responses, how quick he was with the defense, and his lies, steady lies.
Did you feel like he was a liar?
A good liar, but not good enough.
Moyer.
I'm just saying. See what I'm saying? And I even said myself, I'm like, man, but see, that is what a good lawyer, that is what a good liar does. That was not intentional. Sorry, guys. But that is what a good liar does. That is what a master manipulator does. Makes you question things. Makes you go, wait, is that true? Is that real? Did he really? Wait a second. Maybe he's lying. No, wait. Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's not. What is he? I don't know what to do anymore. So I'm just going to side on the good. So he must be telling the truth. That's what a master manipulator does. Makes you question. But then it makes you go, especially when they're trying to get out of something. They will make you question things like, maybe I am crazy for thinking that. Wait, what? Instantly, instead of him saying, oopsies, I lied, I'm sorry, I was scared, I didn't know what else to do at that time, I didn't want to be caught, I didn't want to be blamed for something that I didn't do. He had plenty of options to say something about this, but he chose to lean on addiction. Then let's talk about this too. Let's not forget the other elephant in the room. He should have said something a year and a half ago. When the cops showed up, he could have said, I was there and then I left. did some other things, took the chicken out of the dog's mouth, blah, 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 was the petrified chicken, put it on the table, went off to do this, lay down in the bed to hang out with my mom, came back and they were gone. I came back to this horrific scene. He could have said that, period, point blank, and he did not. He used the damn peels as an excuse. Master manipulator. He was trying to tug at the heartstrings of that jury, hence the glasses and the snot. And I saw tears. I personally saw tears. But this juror says he didn't. Let's go, shall we?
Also not convinced by moments like this. Alec appearing emotional on the stand.
What did you think when Alec?
Full on act. This is an Oscar-winning performance, in my personal opinion. The glasses and keep sliding down, and the snot, the tears, and the. Come on, guys. Come on, man.
Murdaugh took the stand.
I didn't think much of him.
Really?
Really. I didn't see any true remorse or any compassion or anything.
Even though he cried a lot on the stand.
He never cried.
He never cried. What do you mean by that?
All he did was blow snot.
Did you not see tears?
No tears.
How did you know he wasn't crying?
Because I saw his eyes. I was this close to him.
Moyer.
Pretty wild stuff, right? Pretty wild stuff. I mean, this dude straight up said, like, I've had enough. All right. I've had enough. But I mean, at first I was thinking maybe that could help. I thought maybe that it would help him going and taking the stand. I thought that was going to help him. Real talk. I thought that was going to help him, and it did not. Okay. It ended up not helping him at all. Did not help him at all. It's pretty wild, y'all. Real quick, Diana, Irion, hello. How you doing, sweetheart? I hope you are doing well. Yeah, it's almost a year. So we'd love to have you on sometime soon. If you're still watching, love to have you back on to talk about Naomi and how that case is going right now as well. So we should talk here soon. It would be great to have you back, and I'm sure the family, the show would love to have you back to see how you're doing and see how your family's doing as well. So I hope I hope we are finding you well during this time. But yes, it's crazy. It's just crazy. But let's finish this a little bit.
Says he also didn't buy the defense's argument that Alec didn't have enough time to commit the crime and create an alibi.
The defense said there's no way he could have done all these things, clean everything up, get it all ready, and then go to his mom's and come back in that short amount of time.
I think there's just enough time.
All those factors leading the jury to hand over that guilty verdict.
If you really look at everything, it's all plain and clear.
It's very, very interesting.
And the judge delaying sentencing until this morning so that victims could make statements.
And what's interesting is that no one made any statements at all. No, family members that were affected by this or anything. No one came up and spoke. I don't know why. I'm still wondering why that happened. Why they didn't go up. Why somebody didn't come up, and speak their piece. It's very, very interesting, nonetheless. Pretty wild stuff. But again, as you see this, it does make you wonder a few things. And obviously, I've said my piece on how unbiased, how clean slate is a juror really, especially when you have media of all kinds constructing narratives. How unbiased are your jurors really going to be? So that when they walk in, they're looking at it with fresh eyes, no opinions whatsoever. No thing of somebody walking in and going, him guilty. Just go ahead and give it. No. You can go ahead and say your piece, but him guilty. Yeah. Go ahead, talk. Him guilty though. Him guilty. I don't care. But him guilty. I feel like that happened with this particular case in a certain way. I'm not sitting here saying that he isn't guilty. I think he's guilty. I think he's a straight up liar. Okay. And he is a prolific liar. Okay. So when I look at this, justice was served. But it does make you wonder, when they do jury selection and all that, how are these jurors really not knowing anything when everything's in your face? That's the only question I have. You know? And obviously, I'm not a lawyer, right? I'm not a lawyer or anything. But this juror himself says that the thing that shot down the whole idea of innocence was the Snapchat video, hearing Alec in the background. That was the smoking gun evidence showing that this man did this. Now, I will say this too. There may be, I keep thinking that there's got to be another person involved. That's what I think. I think he was involved, but I think that there was another person involved too. That's what I think. I don't understand how he would do, like, you know, as far as like getting it taken care of, or maybe it was a planned hit. I know that there's theories like this was a planned hit only to take out Maggie, but then Paul ended up being collateral damage with this as well, that he was just there. And so unfortunately, he lost his life. But then I've also heard that maybe that Paul was the focus, and that Maggie was collateral damage in this whole thing as well. I've heard so many different variations and so many different theories, but I do think I do partially believe that there was someone else there. That's what I think. When they talk about, oh, you know, there's no way that he could have done all this by himself. Maybe there was somebody else there that helped him out and is still out here in the, you know, breathing in this freedom air. You never know. You never know. Now, I know I got a couple super chats and stuff. I'm going to get to those really quick because I feel bad that y'all, they're all here. So let me get these real quick because I see a bunch. And I appreciate the super chats, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, loves. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nikisha Moses, thank you so much for the 5. Absolutely. They had enough evidence beyond the reasonable doubt. Yes, I feel like the evidence was enough. And then I feel like he was trying to cover his own tracks, trying to do different things. And of course, not only just lying about lying about being in the kennel and all that, but I think that there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And regardless, let me say this too. Let's say he's innocent. Let's say that he's innocent. This is why you don't lie, everybody. Case in point, this is why you don't become a prolific liar, a master manipulator. Okay? This is why you don't lie like this, because you could find yourself in a very, very terrible situation where you are screaming that you are innocent. Let's just say that he's innocent. Let's just entertain that for 2 seconds. You keep weaving this web of lies, eventually you're going to get caught. Eventually you're going to get caught up in your own web. Look at the extreme. This was a pill-popping addict that was being accused of lying, fraudulent, son of a gun. Let's not even talk about M. Let's not even talk about taking the life, being accused of taking the lives of people. All right? His own flesh and blood, by the way. This is somebody who is running around stealing money, lying. Then all of a sudden, boom, tragedy happens in his family. He lies again. Then he goes to court. People are sitting there going, see how much he lies? He must have done it because he lies all the time. Now, if he was a person who was true blue and his character wasn't a master manipulator, a lying ass son of a gun, maybe his results would be different. So he wasn't joking. He wasn't kidding when he said, "Oh, the web we weave." You know, this is why you don't lie, everybody. This is why you don't lie. Because all that stuff ends up coming back to you. And this is a very extreme, dramatic version of what I'm trying to say. But you have to be be truthful. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the people around you. Don't do drugs, man. Don't do drugs, kids. Oh, my God. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Actually, I'm sorry. Let's break it all the way down. Okay? Don't do those evil things like pills. Avoid addiction. Don't do drugs. Children, do not do drugs. This whole trial, or at least that moment where he was in the beige, showing the end result, that should be a DARE slogan. You know, it should be a meme and put DARE on it. You know what I mean? Don't do drugs, kids, because this could happen to you. Whether he is innocent or not, the choices he has made got him down this road because of the lying, because of all that stuff, period. Think about it for a second, y'all. The lying mucked him up. Tahiti, Arizona, thank you so much for the 2. They could have at least faked lunch. The jury could have just said, wait. We don't want him to freak out too much. So let's go grab a burger real quick. You know, we don't want to get him too excited. You know, we want him to just be on pins and needles. Maybe they could have, but they were like, F him guilty. Let's just give it to him. Let's go. Right? They done knew what was going on, babies. They were like, F all this ish. We ain't waiting any longer. Man, and the dude, I'm sure, was still waking up. That juror. Is he guilty yet? No? We're still in here. Okay. Seriously. They didn't care. Thank you, Paulie Lewis. Thank you so much. Welcome to becoming a new member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really do appreciate it. Leanne, thank you so much for the 10. Preach, Pascal. Thank you. Yes, I will. Yes, mop my brow. I said, you know, the promised land. Just don't lie, everybody. Just don't lie. That's all I'm asking. And then also, let's not forget, most importantly, too, don't do drugs thing, but don't kill people. Someone told me that a long time ago. Yeah, don't do that. that'll also get you into a heap load of trouble too. Last I checked. But beige looks really good on him. I'm lying, but I'm just saying. You better get used to that beige or that orange, whichever it is. Because you're going to have some fun. Just don't drop that soap. Do not drop that soap. All right? That's all I'm saying, bruh. I heard it gets very uncomfortable. And P, thank you so much for the 10. Just for the great work. Just for your great work. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, sweetheart. You know, I'm just working hard. I'm just a man trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. But I appreciate it, Ann. Thank you so much. Jamie, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very, very much. Cedar Jones on TikTok. Thank you so much for joining the family membership. I really do appreciate it. Welcome to the family. Thank you so very much. Jamie, thank you again for the 10. Can you explain what the other 99 cases are? Are they against AM, Alec, or was he just taking up stupid time? I believe DP should have been in order. Okay, let's talk about this. Ooh, okay, controversy. I feel like I should have a soundbite that does that. Controversy. All right, let's talk about this. Jamie, 99 cases. I think he has 99 cases on. I thought at first it was about Alec, but I think he was talking about the other cases he has coming around the bend, just other independent cases. Okay, so no, they are not against Alec. Yet Alec is looking at some serious time for other crimes he's committed, because he's committed multiple crimes. Okay, so this is not the last time he's going to be seeing the inside of a courtroom. So, although I will say this, though, it's funny because they might as well wrap all these things up, all these other cases up, because he admitted to guilt to all of them while he was on the stand. When he was asked those questions, did you do this? Did you embezzle this? Did you con this person? Did you con that person? Did you take millions of dollars from your friend? Did you take millions of dollars from this person? So on and so forth. He said yes every single time. Under oath, they could wrap it all up. So maybe they don't have to, right? Maybe they don't have to go into court. I don't know if that stuff is going to be admissible in other cases, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Or was he taking up stupid time? No, I think he was just talking about how, like, the other things he's got going on. Like, this ain't like, in a way, like, this ain't this ain't his first rodeo, and it damn for sure ain't his last. And I also think he was kind of rubbing it in, like, I love what I do, and this, you used to be a lawyer, and you're not going to be able to do what you used to do, what you used to love to do, and I get to continue doing my thing. You get to go see the inside of a cell, and I keep doing what I do. That's what I felt like what he was saying there too, right? I believe DP should have been in order. Now, he did mention it. He said, with a crime like this, the extreme would be out there. He put it on the table. And I'm going to say this. I'm on the fence, because I'm someone that, man, if this was my kid and this was my wife, and this is the person that did this thing, I would want them to roast this mother. I don't care. I'm sorry. Something like that, you talking about family, okay? Family. And that's family over everything. Right, Vin Diesel? Family over everything. So if you were to do something like this, personally, I'm going, let him just fry the mother lover. That's what I feel. Gut reaction. But this ain't my case. Thank God this ain't my loved ones. So I sit back and I go, I'm just going to let the law do what it do. He put it on the table. And I said it earlier, but I'll say it now. I think that he was heavily contemplating it. You can see that he was thinking about it, whether he was going to throw it all at him or if he was just going to say, nah, man, you know what? I might be doing him a favor if I give him the extreme. So nah, I'm going to let him rot in jail because that's exactly what he deserves. I feel also that the extreme is an easy way out. Yes, it's terrifying for them. Yes, they have to look at that and they're a dead man walking, right? But at the same time, they don't have to live life. And life in prison is suffering. Okay? That's what they say what life is, but imagine spending the rest of your life in a cage, eating crappy food, looking over your shoulder every single day because, you know what I'm saying? You got evildoers all around you that want to do very bad things to you because they ain't got nothing else better to do. His mind going crazy and all that, you know, that would put peace in my heart too. Knowing that he's going to drop the soap every once in a while. I'm just saying. Somebody said bend and snap. Yeah. He literally, that would put peace, a lot of peace in my heart. I'd be like, yeah, no, give him that life. Let him suffer. Because he ain't going to ever walk out. He will be in there for the rest of his living days. Getting injection or getting zapped, or now in the state of Idaho, it's the firing squad. All those things, that's an easy way out. That's an easy way out. Unless he gets, shanked or something like that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So, it's a very good question. And that's why I'm on the fence. I see both sides, right? Because then that person's erased. If they do the extreme, he gets erased. Good on you. Bye-bye. You know what I mean? He gone. Now he's in the fiery pits of hell, right? In a special place in hell for him, all right? But then there's the other side. That person being there, having to look over his shoulder and being terrorized for the rest of his life. That can put peace in a lot of people's hearts too. So I don't know, And then, of course, also on top of that, there's plenty of opportunity for Alec Murdaugh to convert to the Nation of Islam. But moving on. Because, that's kind of what happens in prison. They either join the brotherhood, if you get what I'm saying, or they convert to Islam. Yeah. So, Seated Jones, thank you so much for the 5. Appreciate it. I would love to see another stream with you and Justin TikTok. That's my boy. Justin on TikTok. Absolutely. All right. Absolutely. He'll be back on soon enough. We've been taking a little bit of a break from the Idaho thing. There's been a few things that have come out, but, we're not heavily into it as much, but, we'll see. And as far as S-Watch about Alec, he most definitely will be on S-Watch, if you get what I'm saying. He'll be on S-Watch for a good long time. Because lifers, lifers in prison, that's some serious ish, y'all. Okay? That is some serious ish. Okay? It's no joke. And I can see why a lot of people would think about doing something like that because, the rest of their natural life is just seeing 4 gray walls, basically, with a bunch of other men who are out to get you. And they're the most diabolical, most violent criminals. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in Gen Pop. That's just crazy, okay? Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you. I haven't said anything about this in a while, so I'm just going to say it now. Yes, I do have my own clothing line, guys. Please go check out pascalmerch.com. There's a bunch of stuff, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, even bucket hats, I mean, and all that. So please go check it out. I haven't really promoted or said anything about it in a while, but please go check it out. We got some really great stuff there. All right. That would be great. Okay. Diana said, unless he claims he's a woman, then he can go to a woman's prison. That would be wild and a crazy turn of events. That'd be wild, but that'd be wild. I would be shook. Okay. I would be absolutely shooketh. Okay. Shooketh if that was the case. All right. And Debbie, thank you so much. I'm going to pin that to the top. So this is the website, guys. Go and check that out if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. And I'm going to end this poll. I forgot that this was still up here. 759 votes. And you guys said 88% of you guys said, yes, he deserves it. And then 11% of you guys said, no, I think he'll go easy on him. Now, the funny thing is, I never thought about the extreme, which is what the judge threw out there. And I think he threw it out there to make Alec very nervous. That's what I think. I think he, I'll say it. His butthole puckered up. I guarantee you, he's like, Broop! Like the extreme. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm just saying, he's very stoic in a way, but you could tell he got tense. He was about to poop his pants. If this guy was about to say, all right. He threw it out there, but I think it was to scare him too. To like mess with his head. Here you go. Blap, the extreme. And dude went, whoop. And then he was holding his breath for like a good solid 20 minutes while the judge is sitting there contemplating, should I give him death penalty or not? That's kind of what he did. He's like, Alec Murdaugh, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing because of this, that, and the third. And I get to keep doing my job every single day and you don't. But I am contemplating if I should give you the death penalty or not. I haven't made my decision yet, but I'm going to let you talk while I think about it. But you a liar, swindler, a pill-popping whore. No, I'm not going to give you the DP. It's fine. You're just going to have life. Okay, just calm down, calm down. You're not going to get the DP. Life. Okay? Life. And that's exactly what happened. Hamburger. Oh my God. I think he did that just to mess with him too, Maybe he was contemplating, maybe he was trying to mess with him. I don't know. But that was some crazy stuff, y'all. That was something else. We all went, what? A crime like this, you're usually looking at the death penalty. We all went, what? That's exactly what I did. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just evil. Just evil. Hold up. I got some super chats. I don't know where they are though. I'm trying to find them. They disappeared on me, man. They disappeared on me, man. Okay. Nuts and board. Alex and Tim bend his I'm done. Bend and snap. I'm just saying. Penny Williams, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate it. Reputation is everything. Absolutely. Yes. Cassio even said that in Othello. A reputation, reputation, reputation. All I have is my reputation. Something like that. Seems like everyone respected him at one time, including the judge. Yes. He did say that. He's like, you have a legacy here. And there was respect. There was respect. But it's interesting that it went from the time that maybe he's gone in and has done cases in front of this judge, and now he's judging and sentencing a fellow lawyer, right? a fellow Esquire. I find that very interesting, how like that kind of, turn of events. But let me finish this. Everyone respected him at one time, including the judge. He was able to fool everyone for years. I'm glad he can't do that anymore. I agree. I mean, it's a good thing, and it makes you wonder how good of a lawyer was he, or if he was a dirty lawyer. That's a lot. I got a lot of questions, y'all. Okay. I just got a lot of questions. What was going on in that judge's mind? That was a very interesting speech. Because, we've seen other ones of sentencing, and that is like, with what you've done and the things that you've done, so on and so forth, you are just going to see the inside of a cell for the rest of your life, right? This one was it's a weird roller coaster ride of verbiage. It's interesting. Carol Lara. Thank you so much for the 2. Imagine being inside with people he put in. Oh, you got a good point there too. Oh my. That's going to be bad. That's going to be really bad, because it's just as bad as a cop. Oh my God, him guilty as hell, y'all. This is it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for him. He's going to have a bad time. Doesn't matter how many appeals that they do, it's not going to work. He's still going to be in jail. He's still going to be in prison for a long time. Okay? He has other cases right now coming up. I mean, not like right now, but he's still going to be looking at those unless they use his testimony to say like he admitted to guilt on all these. So why take him into court? That's something you have to think about. He admitted to guilt on all those other things. He said, yes, I lied on everything. Yes, I stole money. Yes, I did that in the third. He literally took money from a quadriplegic, took money from a family that needed that money to take care of their son, who happens to be a quadriplegic. Like, this is the kind of man we're talking about here. Hold up. Let me show you what I mean. Hold up. Let me find this really quick. This guy is dirt on dirt. I don't know how to spell quadriplegic. Something seriously wrong with me. Okay. Come on. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Look at this. This is just pure evil, my personal opinion. Okay? Hold on. Alec Murdaugh shamelessly exploited a quadriplegic client. He cheated out of $1 million in a commercial and bragged about using emotive footage of car wreck victims to score bigger payouts. This man is dirty. This man is dirty. So it says right here underneath, we're just going to do the bullets. We're not going to jump all the way into this, okay? We're not going to dive in, okay? But the disgraced legal scion, 54, Horde 54, last week failed to apologize to the many clients who he stole millions from, stating only that he was embarrassed by the thefts. Among cases outlined to jurors was that of Hakeem Pickney, who was paralyzed in a car wreck in 2009. Murdaugh earned $4.1 million in fees and stole another $1 million. So he basically took $5 million. The alleged, well, now convicted monster used footage of Pickney, of Hakeem, in a commercial to promote how emotive video could be used in court to make attorneys cry and win settlements. It's right there. Master manipulator, master con artist, prolific liar, prolific. There's a reason why I say prolific. Okay? This man is skilled. And that's exactly, yeah, Queen Kimberly. Damn. Hell yeah. This mother lover was a piece of work. Piece of work. Okay? Prosecution did a great job in exposing that ass. Okay? Exposed this dude, and rightfully so. Okay? They painted him to be exactly who he is. Then, let's not forget that part. What the judge said too. Talking about the pills. Let's talk about the pills really quick. Okay? Actually, let me pull that up too. Hold on, guys. Just doing a quick trip down memory lane. Let's see. Boom. This right here. Splat out. Let's talk about this for a hot minute. Okay? Alec Murdaugh, Maggie, admits to taking up to 60 pills of, these concoctions of very, very bad medicines, okay, a day before the M of his wife and son. Now, the reason why I bring this up, it's very important. You got to remember, 60 pills. I don't remember what he said at that time, like how, I know he's like about my height. I don't remember what they said about his weight. I think it was like 262 something during that time, okay? He was he had a little bit more meat on his bones in comparison to what he looks like now. I mean, he's gauntly looking, if that's even a word, okay? He's not looking, he doesn't look like he before he didn't miss a meal. Let's just say that, okay? He had meat on his bones. I'll just say that, okay? But now it looks like he don't even eat, okay? He looks like skin and bones. Now, one thing I think is interesting, because I thought pills do that to you. They make you lose weight, right? So it's interesting that he was doing all these pills and he wasn't really losing any of the weight. It's weird, but I don't think he looks healthy right now. Probably overwrought with guilt, as he should be. Them are the breaks. But nonetheless, 60 pills. So the judge, as he said it, he goes, I don't think it was you, Alec. With 60 pills in your system, it could have been a completely different person. And maybe in that high, he doesn't remember doing what he did. 60 pills, guys. And if you really think about it, him taking 60 pills, what if he did up to that amount during the time of the crime, so that he was numb, so that he wouldn't remember or feel anything about what he has done? Got really, really high and then did what he did. Certain drugs will make you do could make you do some really bad or really stupid things. You drink enough, you could be the guy in the corner, peeing in the corner of your friend's house, drunk as hell with a lampshade on your head, butt ass naked. That happens, right? I've heard stories like that. I've seen people who have just lost their minds. Okay. And that's just alcohol alone. So imagine 60 pills of ox. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff, y'all, in your system. And he admitted that he was addicted to opioids, taking more than 2,000 milligrams of painkillers a day in the months before their demise. There were days where I took more than that, Murdaugh said. Like, he literally said that. There were days I took more than that. And sometimes he took less than that. But regardless, he was right there in the middle. Some days it would be a little bit more. Some days it'd be a little bit less, depending on his stash and depending maybe on how busy his day is. But no matter what, 60 pills is crazy. He also said during cross-examination, he also admitted that he had a quote unquote pocket full of pills when he was speaking to the members of SLED about the tragedy, that famous body cam video of him in the car, in the squad car, breaking down, his lawyers in the back as he's crying, right? I think it's his lawyer. Could have sworn it was his lawyer. Or maybe it was his brother. Maybe it's his brother. I don't remember. But that's a lot of pills, guys. Enough pills to kill a small horse. All right? And you're telling me that he's just fine? That he couldn't have done this high as a kite? Come on. Penny Williams, thank you so much for the 2. Karma. Yes, it is. I agree 100%. Quit. Just don't lie. Don't lie. Don't do drugs, and do not harm your fellow man, especially the people that you love. Okay? Harm them with hugs. Loving hugs and kisses, guys. And harm them with giving them gifts. Okay? That come from the heart. That's what we should be doing, guys. Don't do these things. Okay? Don't do drugs. And don't lie. Because you might end up like Alec. I'm serious. I am serious. That's so insane to me. Literally, he is a don't do drugs slogan. I'm telling you right now. He had the world on a string. He had control over a town. He was legacy. And it all got destroyed because he was taking 60 pills? So insane to me. Same thing with Paul. Let's not forget about Paul. Hold on. I'm going to get to Kim's super chat. Let's not forget about Paul. Let's talk about Paul. Don't drink like that. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and operate heavy machinery. Just don't drink like that, guys. Don't do drugs, period. Remember, boat accident. Mallory Beach. Let's not forget all that too. Put all that in consideration, y'all. Real talk. This is insane. It's insane. Just don't do those things, guys. And then if you watch the other the Netflix documentary, y'all, apparently he was very abusive to his girlfriend. But it was, and I'm not sitting here using this as an excuse, because keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. But apparently, whenever he was drunk, he would hurt. He would hurt her. And she kept that quiet. And apparently, on the boat, his drunk ass got into an altercation, or like got into a little verbal argument with his girlfriend, slapped her right in the mouth in front of everybody. This is before the boat crashed. Because he was like, no, this is my boat. Obviously, this kid had a lot of rage issues, and he had some drinking issues as well. And the information that was being told within this shows that this was a family that knew that they were, or felt, and probably have exercised this a lot, but they knew that they were untouchable, that they ran that town. You know, when I say those things like, I run this town, that's literally what Alec Murdaugh probably thought in his mind, that he was untouchable. The stories that we hear from the girlfriend is absolutely astonishing. How cars were flipped over, that they were in, all that. They were cleaning things up, all that. They have been doing cover-ups since day one, y'all. Since day one. He did spit on her too, nuts and board. Yep. He spat in her face too. Smacked her. And that was regular. But they said that was the first time he had ever put his hands on her in public. But everything else was all behind closed doors. Again, if you really think about it, it also goes back to the boat accident. Maybe Alec Murdaugh would not be, sentenced to life in prison right now if that boat accident didn't happen. Don't drink and drive. Don't do drugs. Don't lie. Just don't lie. That's it. Kim C., thank you so much for the 5. Judge Newman's 40-year-old son passed away from a heart attack earlier this year. He lost a son, then had to listen to Alec lie about taking his. Yep. There's probably some part of him that is angry, right? I mean, that kind of stuff is like, man, I lost my own. You know what I'm saying? I lost my own kid. And you went and decided, like, we fought, right? We loved our kid, and he was tragically out of nowhere taken from us unexpectedly, right? And you decided to play God by going over there and pulling the trigger on your own son. For what reason? I still am wanting to know why. I'm still wanting to know why. Stacy, thank you so much for the $1 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I still want to know what the motive is, why he did all what he did. So crazy to me. Nuts and board, thank you so much for the 5. He'd be either gone or asleep. Yeah, right? Like, how does he function on that amount of pills, right? I take them for a medical condition, not that many though, 3 a day, and I'm out. See what I'm saying? If you took 3, like, I don't even know. I've never done it, and never would, unless it's, a prescription. Even that, I get scared about wanting to touch that kind of stuff, because I hear, how heavily addicting it can be. Those things just make me nervous. But then again, I can only imagine if you have to take it, how that stuff like really affects you and all that. But 60 pills, 60 of them a day. That's a crazy life. Nancy, thank you so much for the 5. If Alec ends it all in prison, I get what you're saying. Would Buster get his $11 million in life insurance money? S-Watch? I think he's going to be in S-Watch for sure. I don't know about the life insurance money, because remember, I think when it comes to life insurance money, isn't there a clause in life insurance that you cannot self-expire? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. I thought that you can't do that, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I thought that you can't get that. I thought that that's a thing. Ray just said in LA for sure. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So and some of y'all are saying, Tina just said you can't and all that. So see what I'm saying? So that's interesting. T-Rev, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the 10. Make sure you always give back to your peers working hard. Much Love, brother. Keep grinding. Thank you, man. And you too, bro. You too, homie. No doubt. It's yeah, because a lot of us are out here working hard. For sure. A lot of us. But yeah, this is crazy. Debbie just said, void if you're a criminal. Interesting. So he better have done something like move some money into a specific account so that Buster can have that or something, because obviously Buster's the only one left, at least as far as his bloodline. Okay. I'm not talking about his brother or anything like that. I'm just talking about Buster himself, right? That's the last of his bloodline. So he has some work. He really has some work to do. It's very interesting. Montacor, thank you so much for the 10. Appreciate that. I appreciate your ability to include all aspects when considering scandalous subjects. A one-sided argument is just that. Bless up. Thank you, Manta. I really do appreciate that. It's hard. That is not easy, because I know a lot of people, some people jump the gun and go, get all mad when you're just like going, wait a second, I'm just exercising both sides. Does not mean I'm on that side. I'm just putting that out there because we need to talk about that side. But this is where I stand, right? So, I'm just asking the questions that some people don't ask, right? So it's very, 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 very interesting for sure. Yes, exactly. Peanuts, Nana. Yeah, absolutely. He is now the crown jewel of his family. And actually, he's the pride and joy of the family, right? Paul was the black sheep of the family. Okay? Paul was the black sheep of the family. So, it's just unfortunate. It just ended this way. It's unfortunate that Paul lost his life in this way. But again, it still makes me wonder why. Let's see. Oh, yeah. T-Rev just said this too. That, and I see the typo. So he's saying, I wouldn't be surprised to see Alec snitch on Buster allegedly for Steven. Now I'm going to say this because the typo. So instead of Steven, the first Steven, it's Buster, I think. Now, if that's the case, let me tell you something. That would be wild in a plea to maybe drop his sentence or something like that, or get a more reduced sentence. Sure, maybe, but I still think that no matter what, he's screwed. He's still going to be there for the rest of his natural life. Nothing's going to change. Even if they dropped it to 30 years, right? He's 54. And if he survives all 30 years, let's just say, what's his life after he gets out? Okay? So, natural life, I mean, he's already a dead man, in my personal opinion. Whether he got the DP or not, this is a dead man. Yeah. But yeah, he's 54. He is 54. That is a horrid 54. But see, that's what, see now, that's what happens when you abuse certain things. That's why I'm saying over and over and over again, don't do those things. You see what I'm saying? It's amazing what your body and your face, your skin shows when you abuse certain things, or if your mindset isn't right? If you're dealing with bouts of depression, etc., or if you're not trying to exude positivity and light and love through your body is going to react, and you'll see it. People will be able to see that through your skin, through your eyes, everything. And also stress as well. I'm going to be real. Yes, Joy. Stress too. Stress can really rock your body. It can. So that's why it's like you got to find that thing to set your, to release that bad negative energy, or to release that stress. You got to find something, which is like, exercise, doing something positive for yourself, picking up a new hobby, learning something new that excites you and turns your brain off from the work or from the stress that surrounds your life. For me, I like to work out. That's my stress reliever. I pick things up and I throw them back down, right? That's what I do. I do an early morning run in the morning to just get the system going, right? And it feels good. I mean, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But then as soon as I get done with it, I love it. Does that make sense? But I know that it's making me feel good. Okay. It just makes it, at the end of the day, it helps, because I'd rather have that be my vice than me leaning on the bottle or leaning on the joint or leaning on all the other BS that's out here. You can see it in these guys' skin, their bodies. Yes, the stress, also the guilt, right? All those things can play a toll on a person's body. That's why it's like I say, moisturize, children, moisturize. Because seriously, some of y'all don't know how to take care of your skin. Okay? And it's the only suit you got. Your birthday suit is the only thing you got. So treat it nicely, baby. Okay? Old Aches and Pains said, Pascal drinks lots of water and he moisturizes. Yes. I don't drink nearly enough water than I should. I'll just say that, just so you know. But yes, I moisturize. Dag nabbit. But then I also take care of my body. That's it. I take care of myself. All right? That's it. Oh, and also, like, it doesn't have to be running. That's just my routine, right? That is just my go-to. That's my routine, because it's the only time I get to, one, not be sitting for like 7 hours, right? And also gets me outside, seeing the sun, getting that vitamin D, getting that extra, whatever you want to call it, that je ne sais quoi, right? It doesn't have to be running. It could be yoga. It could be Pilates. Shoot, it could be whatever it is that you want it to be. It could be a walk. It could be just as simple as that. Seriously. Because trust me, I was the same way. I was the same way as Debbie. Man, if I'm running, it's because somebody's chasing me. Period. But I just said, hey, I want to try something different. Start a new hobby. So I started a new hobby. And I love it. Yes, you can even do jazzercise. Was it Richard Simmons or something like that? Isn't that, sweating with the oldies or something like that? Come on, girls. You know what I mean? Sweating to the 80s or something like that. I remember that ish. That dude probably made millions of dollars on that ish. Okay? But yes. Take care of yourself. Moisturize. Hydrate, love. And stop eating crap. Oh, I forgot about that. That's an important part too. Stop eating crap. Just think about it. Just think about it. And it's as simple as this. If you just changed one small thing in your diet, one thing, you'll gradually start eating more healthier things. You'll gradually start making healthier choices instead of just going to McDonald's every time, or whatever your fast food fix is, right? Or you're constantly calling up Pizza Hut or Papa John's or whatever pizza joint that you got that you love that is just fire, right? You tend to start calling that less. It's just small little things. Yeah, it could be whatever it is, guys. Somebody said karate, Zumba, dance with your loved one. Yeah, you can go learn ballroom dancing because that's like a dying skill. But hey, it's fire, especially with your loved one. I mean, shoot, just change a little bit. I know we just went off on like a left turn, and I apologize for that. But you know, his physical presence just it's making me, you know, it's moving me to say these things right now. Okay. Yeah, Robin. Yeah, you could do the Macarena. Hey, Macarena. You know, in the morning, you just, you know what I'm saying? You can do that if that makes you feel good. Whatever it is that makes you feel good, that's healthy, do it. Okay. Michael Walker said mosh pits. Exactly. You know, or you know, speaking of something like that, you're like picking up boxing or jujitsu or Tai Chi, right? Picking up something different and just trying it out. Anything, fencing, rowing, basketball. But y'all be careful out here because some of y'all are blowing out y'all Achilles tendons and stuff and messing up your ACLs and stuff. Just you ain't in the NBA. Just play the game. Okay? You ain't Kobe, you ain't Jordan. All right? You damn sure ain't LeBron. Okay? So just play the game. Okay? And be careful with yourself. That's it. That's all. So, you know, you can have some fun with some stuff. Okay? Yeah, to make someone happy with a smile. Absolutely. You know? But that's the thing. I mean, that's my morning routine, you know, the running. Get some coffee in me, I get a run in, all that. That's just what I do. And then, you know, I go hit the gym later on in the day. But that's just my balance. That's what keeps me balanced. That's what keeps me happy. Because I keep, you know, I'm always in this purple ash room. I'm always in here. So I need something that's going to get me away and also let me blow off some steam, because some of these stories are really tough to deal with. Today is great because Evil lost today. Evil went down for the count, caught an L, which I'm very happy about. But there are other stories where you need to shake it off and get away and not talk about it and just throw some weights around. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you feel emotionally attached to that story or to that person. And the only way I can keep my sanity on some cases or some stories is by going out, you know, getting a run in or doing something positive for myself, right? That is only for me. Yes, that sounds very selfish, but at the same time, we all need that. It could be just getting a massage. It can be whatever it may be. But I need to do that for myself. And y'all need to do that same thing too. All right? You do, because a lot of us will just keep piling on the stress and it just keeps stacking up higher and higher and higher to the point where we just snap or we do something very, very, very dumb. Like I think what happened with Alec Murdaugh. Just saying. Mimi, thank you so much for the 150 Swiss francs. Look what I did. I learned. Hey, thank you, Mimi. Appreciate the Swiss franc. You know, I appreciate it. Thank you. But anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being in here today. It has been an amazing show. I think that this is some fantastic news, fantastic information. Evil took an L today, and that ish makes me smile. Okay. I am going to be doing another show later on. Okay. Actually, let me just say this really quick. Okay. I am going to be I am going to be on a little bit later on today. There is a discussion that I want to do, but I am on the fence about it. I'm on the fence about it. Did you hear about this Megan Hall? Put a number 1 if you heard about Megan Hall, the ex cop, and the very salacious things that she has been involved in with other cops. She was out here dropping it like it's hot on a bunch of cops with fellow cops. Well, there's new information about this, and I was thinking about doing this as a show because I don't know. I'm on because I got some things to say about that. I got a lot of things to say about that, and I don't know. And of course, I'm a gentleman, so I'm gonna try my damnedest to be a gentleman. But I'm like, I don't think this is a show that can be I don't think that this is a story that can just be a pop-up video, because I feel like everyone is going to take what I want to say and chop it up and screw it. And I don't want that to happen. That's what I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to be a gentleman with this one. But oh my dear Lord. Yeah, the train running cop. Yes. Yeah. So I want to talk about it. Yeah. I do want to talk about it because it's absolutely, because there's new developing information about it, and it's absolutely insane. So I want to talk about it with y'all as a family. I'm probably going to be doing that later, the early evening time, earlier than 7. But I will put it in the community page because I do want y'all to be there to chop it up with me about it and talk about it, okay? Because it's definitely worth the conversation. Oh my God, it's insane because I've never talked about it from the beginning. So we're going to be doing a little trip down memory lane leading up to the actual ultimate piece that just dropped like 2 days ago. So we will be talking about it. It's absolutely insane. So tune in. Be sure to keep a lookout on the community page and I will probably put it on my Twitter. And also, guys, please follow me on Twitter, The Pascal Show, one word. If you're not following me over there, please do so as well. If you're using the twits, please follow me on The Pascal Show, one word, on Twitter. And also, again, pinned to the top of the chat, right over there, is my website, pascalmerch.com. Please go check that out as well. Okay? You might find something you like over there. Okay? But anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Okay? Thank you so much for the 2 Swiss francs. Thank you. To hear your voice is a highlight of the day. Thank you. Mimi, that's sweet. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Yes. So we definitely need to talk about this. We are going to talk about this Megan Hall situation. It's crazy. So tune in a little bit later on today. Okay, guys? Appreciate all y'all for being in here. Let's rejoice. Let's be happy. Evil took an L today. Life in prison. Yes, there's going to be appeals, but like those are going to really stick. Like those are really going to do anything. Okay? This man's gone. All right? Case closed. And may he rot. That's what I think. All right? But it is time to get going. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, babies. I appreciate all y'all. And I will be talking to you guys very, very soon. All right? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.